Hi everyone, thanks for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. With most of friends should be in by now. We're gonna kick things off right away, and thank you for your patience. All right, so today what will we be speaking about? We'll be talking about how you can build your first trading bot on Phillip MT5. And according to my colleague, Mr. Ure, he said that there's no coding required. I'm skeptical as well. All right, so let's tune into the webinar together and find out if that's really the case. This is your facilitator for today. My name is Sri. I'm from the marketing team from Philip Nova. So if you have any questions at any point in time during the webinar, just head down to your question box, the same box that many of you have went to say you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you for that. And let me just quickly wrap up what we're going to cover today, and you can sit back and enjoy the webinar for today. All right. So based on the first session that Ure did recently, he explored how he shared how trading bots work and why more traders are turning into automation. Everything is AI these days, right? And this session, we'll be talking about taking the next step where you can build your first trading bot, no coding required. All right. So algo trading, as you know, is gaining a lot of traction as traders look to improve efficiency, consistency, and execution. But how do you go from a trading idea to build your first trading bot, especially without any coding experience, right? We're not all of us are coders or developers, right? So in this session, you will learn how you can build a rule-based trading strategy and implement it as a trading bot on the Phillip MetaTrader 5. This webinar will walk through how trading ideas can be structured into clear, systematic logic and how AI tools can assist in generating coded strategies more efficiently. Okay, so beyond producing code, the session will also highlight key elements that matter when building a robust algo trading strategy, including logic, structure, and practical considerations. An example strategy will also be explored to demonstrate how these concepts come together on the MT5 platform. All right, so by the end of the session, my colleague assures me that you will gain a clearer understanding and more practical understanding of how you can start building and deploying your own trading bot on the Philip MT5. All right, so that more or less covers our outline. My dear colleague today is Chen Yu Rei. He's the business development executive for Philip Nova, and he's going to be kicking off this exciting webinar very, very shortly. Okay, I hope you're ready. Mr. Ure, the floor is yours.
Okay, uh, let me share my screen. Okay, thanks Sri for your introduction, and very happy to be here to bring you guys our second webinar about algo trading. And just before I start my webinar, little brief disclaimer. Just ensure that today our session is all about educational purpose, and anything in here is not constitute financial advisory. And a little bit introduction about our company. So Philip Nova, we previously known as Philip Future, and we were established in 1983 as a member of Philip Capital. And nowadays we are also expanding to multiple assets, including stocks, CFDs, forex, global futures, and commodities. We offer two platforms. One is Nova Trading Platform, which offers stocks ETFs, and another platform is the platform we will talk more about today, which is about OTC derivative trading. And it offers powerful, convenient offering, including zero commission trading and also very tight spreads for all the products. So a little bit intro about myself. So again, my name is Yuri, and currently OTCD Business Development Executive of Philip Nova, and previously graduated from in US with major in finance and also enrolled in CFA, currently level 3 candidate. So now let's enter into our topic. Thanks for your patience again. So today we aim to achieve three goals. The first goal is that we want to know how to turn a trading idea into a rule-based strategy. And with a rule-based strategy, we can use our AI to turn the strategy into codes. And then we can compile the codes and backtest the codes to see the strategy, how it works on Phillip MT5. So first of all, we need to know what does a trading bot mean, or what does it really need. For us as retail trader, we need the trading bot to act like a trader who follows our trading instructions exactly as what we expect. And thus, we want our bots to know something most fundamental, such as when to enter a trade, when to exit a trade, and how much I want to trade per order, right? And how to manage the potential losses and the risks over there. So it's all about things we as trader need to think about. We need our algo trading bot to also think about. And thus, if you already have very clear trading rules in your mind, it is already a good foundation for you to build up your trading bot. So what does a clear trading strategy look like? So here is a simple example about moving average crossover. Here you can see I framework this trading strategy into 5 points. The first point is basic logics. So moving average essentially is used to capture the market trends. That's a basic idea here. And then what's a trade entry signal? So when do we enter a trade? Here you can see the definition. We buy when the short moving average, which is for example 20 period MA, crosses above the long moving average, for example 50 period MA. And conversely, we can sell when the long-term moving average crosses above the short-term moving average. A very simple idea here, but very clear rules. And then when we decided when to buy, we can decide how much we want to buy. Right. So here I make it simple, one lot or one share per trade. Then once entered, I need to determine when to take profits or when to stop my losses. So here you see that if price moves favorably by a fixed target, which could be 100 pips, I close with profits. If move against me by 50 pips, okay, I close with losses. So as simple as that, it can be a strategy rule already. But sometimes our trader may feel a bit confused about what does a trading idea really mean, because sometimes we may trade based on some institution or visual idea about the charts or the prices. So for example here, you may only feel that, okay, I want to buy because the momentum of prices seems strong to me on the chart, so I buy. Or I can sell because the candle tell me there's a sell signal. Or I may not sell because there's a price pattern tell me that there's a bear trap, or I may not buy because I think there's a bull trap. So sometimes we may have the more abstract idea about trading signals, and we cannot, or we find it difficult to standardize them into exact rules. But for the algo trading, we must ensure that all the things can be standardizable, can be quantifiable. So that's where we can make use of AI, because AI can both understand human language and also the coding language. So it's a good bridge between us and the codes. And here, just make sure that even though AI can help us turn ideas into rules, it is not some magician. Okay, it cannot magically create a profitable strategy for you. Okay, you have to have your own good, clear idea first, and then convert it into rules line by line. Okay. So here is an example of a vague idea about trading. So here is the example is buy the pullback in an uptrend. I believe some of you already know what does that mean. So firstly, I need to see whether the price is in an uptrend. As this chart showing, the price is going up. Right, as you can see, how do I identify the uptrend? It could be, let me get my pen. Uh, because I can see the trend line, okay, upper, higher high, right? Can see the moving average is going up. So this all give me idea that it is an uptrend, and then I buy the pullback. Okay, here the price goes down first, and then it goes up. So that's so-called the pullback. So the idea here is simply I identify uptrend, I see the price goes down a bit, I think it will go up, and they give me confirmation, and then I buy accordingly. And how do we convert this idea into a rule-based strategy? So here I use my framework I showed you just now. Okay, I need to identify okay uptrend and to identify the pullback. Okay, and then I can identify where to buy. So uptrend, there can be many methods to identify the uptrend. It can be using the indicator like a moving average. You can using price structure like swing high, swing low. You can use many things. And then you can also use either the price pattern or indicators to determine whether there's a real pullback or not. And then you can confirm the buy entry. And then once you entered, you need to manage your stop loss and also the taking profits. So all this, if you are not sure how to write down line by line in exact language, you can use AI to turn a blurred idea into rules. And how does it be done? So here I will later on show you how to use AI to prompt them some questions and then let it generate a strategy for me and then convert the strategy into a script. So now let me uh, stop sharing and change to the web page. Um, entire screen. Okay. Okay, so I think you guys can see the web page. So here I use ChatGPT as example to show you how to prompt the AI to generate a EA, a trading bot. And here I just copy and paste the prompt I wrote down. Okay, I want to build a trading strategy based on the idea, okay, buy pullback in an uptrend. And then I ask it to turn the idea into structured strategy rules, including the trend definition, pullback definition, okay, entry signals, stop loss, and take profit. Then I let it go. So it immediately give me some detailed idea. Okay, it shows the first strategy rules. Okay, it shows me the full strategy. So here it says, okay, how do I identify uptrend? The trade only long when price is above 200 period MA, and when the 50 MA is above 200 MA. Yeah. So there are many conditions to identify the uptrend. So this strategy, in my view, may be a bit too complex or maybe a bit too rigid. So it also very nicely provide me a simpler version, which is that trend can be simply as 50 EMA above 200 EMA. And pullback is in the area between 20 EMA and 50 EMA. I will enter when the bullish candle closes after the pullback. Okay. So here, for your convenience and also for my convenience, I will let it generate a simple version, okay, of this strategy. So I would say, could you transfer this simple version trading idea into an expert advisor's code script in the MQL5 coding language? And this language is similar, but still different from C++. Okay, let's see how it works. Yeah, so now it's generating an EA. The language is exactly the MQL5 language, which is similar to C++. So note that this GPT is completely new to the language, but still it can to some extent generate the right language and the right syntax. Because AI nowadays is very powerful and already powerful enough to solve most coding issue. Okay. Yes, so it identifies the 50 EMA and 200 EMA for the uptrend signal. It will watch the price move relative to the EMA. It also builds a function to identify the price structure. And then it asks whether the price is in the pullback zone, which is between 20 EMA and 50 EMA. And then it builds up the entry signal for buy. And then how it identifies whether it's a buy, there's an engulfing candle above the previous candle. Okay, so seems quite complete. And now it's instruction for the open buy. And now it's done with the script. So here, let's see whether this EA really works or not. So next, I will show you guys the MT5 terminal and how to open, how to open the meta editor. So here IDE, if you click it, you can open meta editor, or you can go to navigator and then right click on anything, and then I see I want to create in meta editor. It will pop up the same window, and then I can choose expert advisor, template. Then I give the name by pullback. Okay, now very simple, Control A, and then I paste the script I just copied. Let's see whether, okay, so seems like there's no error, at least no error in the compile. And then how do we test it? How do we see whether it really works or not? We can simply click this button, the starting button. Okay, and you will see a window coming out, which is doing trading in the backtesting testing history. Okay, you see here are the buys placed in the history, and here are the price movement in the history. And then I just let it go. So it seems like this strategy at least works. The coding works, and it buys when price has a pullback. And if we go back to our MT5 terminal, you will see the charts of the backtesting results. So here you can see the buy, which is a blue arrow, and the sell, which is a red arrow. And here, this line tells me that it buys here and then close over here. Then you can change the time frame to see how frequent this strategy treats. Okay. And then you can also go to strategy tester. How do you open strategy tester? Very simple. You choose this EA just created, you go to test, then into a pop-out strategy tester. And then you can go to graph to see the performance of the strategy. Okay. So that's the whole process of building up a EA via AI and then compile it in the meta editor of MT5, then test it to see whether it really works or not. Okay. So far to me, seems like this EA works or follows its trading strategy. Now let's go back to our slides. Okay. So just now I show you a easy example, very easy example about how to use ChatGPT to build up EA. But if you already have more, much better idea, much better strategy, of course you can use AI to build the same more complex EA. And here some tips for you guys who have strong strategy already. If you want to do your own EA with the AI, you got to train it. How to train it? Here it doesn't mean you train the model yourself. It means that you need to feed it correct information. So first of all, we need to be clear with the goal of a chat. Right? You need to tell AI that it is only used to code MQL5 to generate an EA. That's the ultimate goal. So you tell it at first, and then you tell the AI that you need to use some example if you don't know MQL5 language. Just now I showed you that GPT may know MQL5 language, but if you want to code better, you can feed it with certain examples, which could be similar to your strategy, uh, maybe something you can use like indicators or even modulars. And where can you get access to those examples? You can get access through code base and articles on MT5. Okay, and then you can guide the AI step by step. If your strategy is complex, you better give it the whole framework or with the structure of EA first. And then you let it code class by class. So for example, start coding with the entry logic, then exit logic, then the filtering logic, then the money management and risk management one by one. Okay, and then let it sum up and create a whole script for you. And note that sometimes if your strategy is complex, of course, there will be errors, there will be bugs, and you need to train your AI to get used to the errors by feeding them with those errors and then debug. Okay. And one important thing to note that is that if you want to use AI to give you idea or trading strategy, you need to be very careful because AI can simply overcomplicate your strategy. And a complicated strategy doesn't mean it's a good strategy. And here is a general idea about my priority of building EA. For me, the most important thing of EA is, of course, its strategy, which is foundation of algo system. And with a strong strategy, you can make good use of code, which are efficient, very efficient coding language, efficient logics to exercise your strategy. And performance to me is not the most important thing, okay? Especially the backtesting performance. It is only the visible results. And any one-time backtest cannot tell anything about how good your EA, your strategy is. Okay? If you want to truly judge a EA, you need to ensure that, okay, does this trading logic make sense to you? Whether the trading strategy used in a suitable market, because some strategy may work well in one market but not in another market. So you need to figure out which market is suitable for your EA, and then which time frame, such as you may trade in the 1 minute, 5 minutes, you may trade in 1 hour. So the time frame is also very important. And then input parameters of EA. Okay. If you attended our last webinar, you also should know that the input parameters are equivalently as important as the code itself or logic itself, because it also determines how exactly the EA works. And then finally, overall, that means that you need to understand the nature of your EA, of your strategy. Okay. Once you know the nature of your strategy, you know how to apply it. And once you know how to apply it, you can find out the parameters making it working well. And to understand a strategy fully, we have to know it systematically. So here I will introduce you three major types of quantitative trading strategies. It's not only algo, but quantitative. So the first type of strategy, of course, is momentum strategy. It's simply, okay, or the basic idea is that if you follow a move that's already built up, that's already going in one direction. So very traditional classic idea is turtle trading, which buy the 20-day high breakout and sell the 20-day low breakout. The second trading strategy, a second type is mean reversion strategy. Okay, it expects the price to always move back toward an average price level. So the example can be RSI mean reversion, which buy when the RSI is below the 30 and goes above and goes back. And then it can sell when the RSI is above 70 and goes below it. Okay, so some of you guys may be very familiar with RSI and how to use it. And then the third type is statistical arbitrage, which aims to profit from the temporary price gapping between related instruments. So what does that mean? Firstly, it always treats in at least a pair of markets, or we see at least two markets which are highly correlated together. So here the example is gold and silver. Their prices often move in the same broad direction, also have some high correlation between their movements. And let's say in a period of time, silver rises much more than gold in percentage or in terms of momentum level over a period of time. We may try to sell the silver because it goes too far and buy gold because it lags behind silver. And it can give you a chance to arbitrage between such temporary difference between two markets. I hope you get some idea about this strategy, because this one is more about quantitative and using statistics to seize arbitrage opportunities. Okay. And today, of course, our focus is not this strategy, but momentum strategy, which is relatively easier to understand. So here, just a checkpoint, short question. Is the previous example by the pullback in an uptrend a momentum strategy or a mean reversion strategy? What do you think? Is it momentum based or mean reversion based? You can tap your answer, you can think it in your mind. And the answer is, okay, of course, it's fundamentally a momentum strategy because it needs to follow a trend, right? So the first condition of the strategy, of course, is to identify an uptrend. So uptrend, what does uptrend mean? It means that the price goes up in a period of time. So that's a long-term momentum, right? And since we talk about trend following logics, here you can also see that there's another type of trading logic about momentum trading, which is called breakout trading. And what's the difference between trend following trading and breakout trading? Very simple. Trend following tends to wait for a trend to appear, or at least wait for the signal of the trend to appear and then enter in that direction. While breakout is more price pattern or price action focusing and looks at when the price breaks a key level, range, or even a channel. And now let's see the examples about the breakout trading logic. So here is a chart. It's a chart of euro dollar in 1 hour time frame, and you can see that there are price range drawn on this chart. Okay. So as an algo trader, the first thing we may think about is that how do we identify the price range? So I didn't code this indicator, by the way. So this price range indicator is not created by myself, but I would figure out that, okay, to identify a price range, I need to figure out what's the maximum height of the price, okay, of the range of prices, right? And also what's the minimum height of a range of prices. If the range of prices is too large, obviously the height is too large, it can identify the price range up from 1.18, for example, all the way down to 1.16, which is not what we want, right? We want to have the cap on the maximum height of the price range, could be just around this level, okay? And also we need to ensure what's the time horizon of the range, because sometimes a choppy market may have maybe sustained for a long time, maybe one whole day, right? And that cannot be a whole price range for a whole day, right? So I may identify the maximum time horizon of a price range about this level. Just example. And once I identify the price range, I will see what's the lowest level and what's the highest level, as you can see here in this box. And what does range breakout mean? Very simple. When the price moves below the lower boundary, okay, I also, of course, will follow the direction and do the sell. And when it goes above the boundary, I can do a buy. Okay. Here, note that, of course, sometimes we may have false breakout, a so-called bear trap or bull trap, which means, for example, here the price goes down, but then revert very quickly. Okay, so that's something we, as an algo trader or as a person who want to have our EA, need to think about. And another type of range breakout or say channel breakout is using price channel or other channel indicators to help you identify the breakout opportunity to enter the trade. So the difference between this channel, as you can see here, I use Keltner channel to identify a range of prices. And when the price goes below the channel boundary, I can see maybe it's a sell opportunity. And when it goes above the price, the upper side of the channel, maybe is a buy opportunity. Okay. The advantage of this price channel breakout logic is that it is more flexible. Why? Because the channel always change along with the prices and your volatility. Yeah. So when the price go up, the channel will also follow it and go up. So it's more dynamic. And when the volatility goes up, this channel may narrow a bit, right? As you can see here, it narrows a bit. And that means that you can identify your entry opportunity more dynamically. There may be more signals over there. Okay, of course, it means there are some more noises, but if you have a good filtering logic to filter out those noise, okay, that means you have more trading opportunity over there to get the profits. Right. So here I will show you guys one example of how I construct my algo trading bot, which uses Keltner channel for the breakout strategy. Okay, so here the core trading logic is very simple, not very simple. I just simplify here, okay, to show you guys to better for you guys to understand it. So here, firstly, I use signals based on open and close prices, and then I would buy when the last close candle closes above the upper Keltner band, plus a buffer. Okay, the buffer here is also another filtering logic. It could be, for example, when the price goes down below the channel. For example, let me see which one. So, for example, this one, when the price goes down below the price channel by a certain level, maybe 50% of the candle bar size, I would identify this as a stronger breakout and then trust it. If it goes, let's see, this one is fake breakout. If it goes above the channel, okay, by maybe 30% or below, I may consider it a fake idea, a fake breakout, then does not confirm this entry signal. So that's what does a buffer mean here. Okay. And similarly for sell, it's the same idea. And then I need to construct Keltner channel along with all the parameters. So it consists of EMA and ATR, which is volatility metric. Then I would say here I need to check every entry on a new candle bar. So if it breaks below, I will check the next candle bar, which is a small green candle. Okay. If it breaks down, I will check whether the next entry bar will open below the channel as well. And then optional to close the trades. So here simply means that when there's an opposite signal. So for example, here, maybe I buy because the price goes up. But then if the price goes down again below the channel, I would identify the previous one as a fixed signal and do the immediate opposite trade. So that's a general idea about this optional to close trades with opposite signal appear. And of course, in other functions, not only the trading signals, but also how you manage your money. Okay, I may use different volume for different situation. I may use max number of trades per direction. Okay, for the risk management, I could use fixed stop loss. I could use basket level stop loss or take profit, and also I can use trailing stop. And of course, filtering. If the price spread goes too large, I think it's maybe too stretched and I may not trade. And also, I may trade only during certain period of time, which is session filter. So many functions together can confirm you a better trading idea and also construct a complete EA algo trader for you, which can do independent trading on itself. So now I will go back to our terminal and show you how does this work exactly and how to do the backtesting over this EA. I just show you. So here, when you want to do the backtesting again, you go to Navigator. You find out your expert advisor. So here, the one I want to show you is this one, Keltner channel breakout. I right click on it, I click a test, and then it will pop out the strategy tester. Okay, here is already there, so you can look at it directly. And then see here the first line, expert, which is the name of your EA. And then you need to find the markets. So you can use different markets. And if you don't have the similar you want to use, you need to add it. Okay. You need to add your symbol here. So for example, okay, Aussie. Okay. And then I choose Aussie. Okay. And then I can choose different time frame. For this one, I use M5 or M1, either okay. And then I choose the date range of the backtesting. Can be last month, can be last year, can be custom period. So here, for my convenience, I use last year. Then forward, this one means that if you want to restart your backtesting within the backtesting period, you can choose that. Okay, a bit complex to understand, but not focused today, so I will skip this. And then delay is a simulated server delay. So we now know that every server has delay. Here, my terminal, it shows delay of 2 milliseconds. In reality, it can be 50 milliseconds. It can be 20 milliseconds. So here I choose 50 milliseconds delay. And then modeling. Modeling is a way of simulating prices. So here I recommend these three different modeling. 1 minute OHLSA, which means that it simulates 1 minute candle bar every minute. It's fast, but not very accurate. Then every tick, so every time the price moves a bit, it can be recorded, and then it will be simulated in the backtesting. Well, every tick based on real tick means that it not only simulates every time price move, but also simulate the real spreads, So if you are testing high frequency trading or trading within ticks, within seconds, better use this modeling, which is most accurate, but also the slowest. Then you can choose the deposit. You can choose start with 5K, 10K, 100K. Okay, here I choose 10K in US dollar, of course, and then leverage is 120 with Phillip Nova, and then okay, I skip optimization. I don't do the visual because it also a bit slow, and okay, I got everything here. I can start the backtesting. Okay, so I start here. Where can you see whether it's backtesting or not? You can see in the graph. You can see in the graph. So here is setting of backtesting. Here is the graph. Okay, you can see the equity moves, means it's trading, and it will generate. So here it will generate a chart of your trading history. So here again the blue The blue arrow means buy, red arrow means sell, and there you can see the red dash line, which means that it sell here and then buys here. Okay. So how do you view the EA? Okay. Uh, of, of course, firstly you need to see the backtest tab. Here it shows you the results of backtesting. You can see the net profits. You can see the gross profit and also gross loss. You can see the drawdown. Okay. And also you can see the more exact statistics, such as the Sharpe ratio, such as the expected payoff, which is the profit you can make per trade. The profit factor is the ratio of your gross profit to the gross loss. The recovery factor is the ratio of your equity drawdown, okay, a ratio of your net profit to your equity drawdown. Yeah. So this statistics very useful for you to measure your strategy more ideally. You can see how steadily it perform and how is efficiency of making profits. Yes. And then more importantly, the inputs. So inputs are the parameters of an EA. Once you construct your EA, this is the first thing you need to look at. And here you can see all the settings by myself for this EA. Okay. And when you are doing your own backtesting for your own EA, make sure whether the default, okay, because every EA has default setting, whether this default
Hey,
setting.
sorry, Yuri. Can I just trouble you to unplug and plug back your earphones? Is breaking up slightly. Yeah, just reconnect.
Okay, is this better now?
Can you just say a few more words? Clearly. Sorry. Select your mic.
Okay,
Okay, just say a few words for me.
can I hear?
Yeah,
Can.
yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Please go on.
Yeah. So, so where am I? Okay. So, for example, here in your inputs, you can have many things you want to set up. So here I can see whether what's the time frame of my trading. Usually I set as 5 minutes for the trading, but also can be the current minutes, which is the current minute of the backtesting, which it can be 1 minute as well. And then you can choose the trading session. So you can choose whether start from 7 o'clock to 20 o'clock or from 0 to 23. Right? And then also you can set other parameters like 20, okay, 1.5, these numbers, okay. And once you set down your good parameters, you can save here. Okay, you can right click on this window and save it. Okay, the pop-up window, you can save it like what I do. I can name it as backtesting. Okay, BKC backtesting one. Okay, and also you can load it here. Okay, you can load your parameters here. So the numbers will go back to the one you set previously, you saved previously. Yes. And with different parameters, the EA can become very, very different. Okay, so for example, here I do the backtesting of the default parameter. Okay, it may work completely differently. Okay, for sake of our time, I change modeling back to 1 minute. Yeah, so the default parameter may not work well, but we may use better parameters. We may identify better parameters to make it working better. So that's a general idea. When you find that your default parameters may not working well, don't give up. Don't think your strategy is not going well. The strategy may have some flaws, but think about whether parameters are suitable. Think about whether the markets are suitable. So here I have my parameters. Okay, I have a range of parameters. So here I can choose one. Yeah, I choose it. I load it. I change to current time frame. Let's see how it works in 1 minute. My PC bit lagging, but overall you can see at least starts well. Okay, it's performing better than the default parameters, and that's a core idea here. Okay, not only using the better logic, but also using the better parameters for your trading. Wow, wow, it's really slow. Yeah, it's slower than I thought. Even I choose the 1 minute OHLC. Usually, when you're using your own modeling, you choose 1 minute OHLC means that you want to get in fast, and you want to choose the more accurate result. You go to every tick or every tick on real tick. Here somehow my PC is bit lagging, so it runs slowly. But in the real case, for such a complexity of the EA, okay, maybe within 1,000 lines, it should only take okay about 5 minutes for maybe 2 years backtesting. Yeah, but overall, you can see with parameters, with better parameters, it can work basically better. Yeah, okay. So I stop here, and let's go back to our slides. Okay. So here, after my demonstration, you can have a better idea about this EA. Of course, it has many parameters, it has many inputs, and also the logics. And it's not easy. It takes time to learn one by one. Also, if you want to let your AI learn, you need to feed it one by one with many different examples to construct the real working and more complex EA. And if you guys are interested, we are also gonna launch our ebook, which may be coming in late April or May. Okay, and this ebook not only tell you how to do the EA construction, but also tell you how to do the test and also optimization of the EA parameters. Yeah, and then it also can tell you how to do the deployment of your EA on the VPS, which is the virtual machine that let it run. Okay, let it run in a real time, 24 hours, 7 days, and also tell you how to do the real-time trading with your EA. Okay. So if you're interested, you can open accounts with us, and we will send you this EA for free, this ebook for free. And okay, that's the end of our content today. And thanks you guys for your patience and attending. And if you're interested, please open accounts with us by scanning the QR code over here. Okay, it takes around 5 minutes, and we can move to our Q&A session.
All right, thank you, members of the audience. Thank you for your patience. I know you probably have some questions. For some of us, it could be quite a lot to absorb as well. Don't worry. The first question I'm going to address is we will share the webinar recording so you can catch up on the insights shared today. Okay, members who have questions, instead of raising your hands, just go to the question box and type your questions in there, and we'll pick them up right now. Okay. Um, Let me see. Okay, first question is from Pete. Pete is asking, MT5 has its own language and not C++. Is that correct?
Yes, so MT5 use MQ5 language. It is its own language specialized based on C++. So you may see the syntax quite similar to C++, but sometimes there are tiny differences. Sometimes the structure is a bit different. Yeah, so you can
Okay.
understand it as a single separate language. At least when you use AI, it's a separate language.
All right. Okay, let me see what's next. Okay, Pete is asking a very interesting question. So can we code using RSI, MACD, Ichimoku, etc. Into the AI?
Of course, you can. And in fact, on MT5, you can find files or scripts of all these indicators codes and feed the codes into the AI to let it understand how you want the indicator to be, and then understand how you want to use them to make up your own strategy.
Okay. Okay, Richard is asking a question based on the chart you shared earlier. You selected M1 for testing, and why is the chart showing H1 Aussie dollar?
Yeah, so for the one I shown you guys, the Aussie dollar, why I use it. In fact, I'm using it because Keltner channel is typically considered more suitable for this market. That's like some idea some traders may get. Yeah. And why is M1? Why is it 1 minute? Because this trading idea is essentially more short-term trading, or we could call scalping in a uh, in a general sense. And M1 or
Hey,
M5.
sorry, Yuri. Can you repeat that again? I think we missed you for a moment.
Oh,
The
okay.
repeat the last 10 seconds, please. Thanks.
Okay, so okay, let me repeat my answer to you. So why I use Aussie dollar? Because Aussie dollar is considered more suitable market for Keltner channel, the indicator I use for this strategy. Okay, it's generally considered more suitable in the history. So I use that. And maybe you can use it for other forex pair like a dollar yen. I think also perhaps very suitable because the microstructure of the prices is a bit similar sometimes. And why I use 1 minute, because my strategy is constructed to be a scalping strategy. So scalping means that it takes short-term profits, relying on the higher win rates. And in the 1 minute, the price signals are faster, are generally earlier. So I use 1 minute. I can also use 5 minutes or 15 minutes perhaps to get profits or do the strategy. But if it's too long time frame, like 1 hour, then it could be lagging. So the signal can be very lagging and it cannot get a chance to enter correctly. Yeah, that's why I use 1 minute Aussie dollar.
Okay. Okay, that was a question from Richard. Okay, this is a question from JN. JN is asking, does MT5, Phillip MT5 contain volatility or macro indicators and data to support trading?
Of course it has. Well, you mean the macroeconomic indicator or the trend indicator? Here, I want to clarify on that. For volatility indicator, of course, it does. So if you go to the, let me share the terminal. Mm, okay. So if you go to the terminal, you go to insert, you can see the indicators over here. And among them, oscillator is where the indicator can measure level of volatility. Okay, for example, uh, RSI, RVI, they can measure the volatility, or use D marker, or I think another one is uh, ATR. Where is it? Some are in the, yeah. So in the custom, there are more indicators, and some are very useful, like ATR, which measures volatility level, or ATX, which measure both strength and volatility. Yeah, so there are many different indicators you can explore. You can measure volatility, you can measure the trends. But for the macro indicator or data, do you mean the economic data or something?
Okay, let's see what she replies. Okay, Sean Ng is asking, can we see your initial prompt? I'm not sure whether you have it on your screen. If not, it should be captured in the video recording, right?
It should be.
Okay. Let me see. Next question. Okay, does Philip Nova have any EA for client to use right now?
Nowadays we have the EA, uh, but it's not fully automatic trading. It needs you to do the button click. Okay, so let me introduce you guys.
Mm.
Uh, this EA is called Acuity Analyzers on top of the Expert Advisors. Okay, you can attach to the chart, and it should pop out an interface. Yeah, so this one is Analyzers IQ, and it provides you with trading signals. And let me see. So here is one you can access. So it tells you whether you can play a buy limit order, okay, at this level, and in expectation of the price drop, hit your order and bounce up. Okay, so these are the trading signals it provides. You can click a button and then it will place a limit order for you. Also, we're gonna launch the pattern trading ideas over here. This one is more about technical analysis on the price patterns and giving you the trading signals accordingly. Okay, so this one I think is getting more and more powerful and more useful. Okay, and how do you get access to it? You can simply open accounts with us, and then let me show you our website. Okay, you can go to the home page, then go to the platform. Okay, so Phillip MetaTrader 5, you can go all the way down and you can see, okay, the first tool we provide is Acuity Analyzers, which is the EA for the half automatic trading, and you can download it, and once downloaded, it will be added into your MT5 terminal. Hope that answered your question. And oh, I just saw Jin, he said yes, economic indicator. So on MT5, you cannot get access to macroeconomic indicator, but you can get some tools from us. So we not only offer the equity analyzers, we also offer trading centers, market analyzers, which give you the indicator about the stocks, for example, here. And they are considered more macro indicator in my sense. Also, it provides economic insights, which is also a tool we provide and for free for our clients.
All right, that looks like all the questions that we have for today. If you have any other questions, remember you can keep the conversation going. You can get in touch with us, and you know we will be having more algo-related webinars, so you can join us for future sessions to refresh on what you have learned today. If you're keen to open an account, scan this QR code to get started. You will get an algo training ebook as shared earlier. And also, we will be sharing a recording of this webinar so you can catch up on the inside chat. Okay, so for the rest of the questions, we will address offline. And thank you for your time and thank you for being a very engaged audience with all those wonderful questions. Okay, we'll see you in our next webinar or seminar. Until then, have a great end to your trading week. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for everything today.
Thank you and see you.
All right, thank you. Take care and goodbye.